What does President Trump mean for the future of the press? It means we get stronger now, or we end up interning for Breitbart. They are hiring. Journalism, the collection and editing of news for presentation through the media. Or if you're Fox, the presentation of news through Sean Hannity's neat little part, the place where reality cannot touch. In no other time in recent history have journalists been so existentially racked by the purpose of their own profession. Rightfully, they've been caught off guard by a president who lies so much we need as many words for bullshit as Inuits have for snow. But also a president who openly berates them.
Oh boy, see the dishonest people back there, the media, the totally dishonest.
They're very, very dishonest people.
I don't like watching fake news.
It's all fake news. You are fake news.
I want to find a friendly reporter. Are you a friendly reporter? Watch how friendly he is. Now that's what I call a nice question.
Oh, God, the White House press corps is now just a fancy petting zoo. That's such a nice sheep. You're such a good sheep. Good girl. Back away, goat. You fake sheep. The Trump campaign and the RNC even launched a mainstream media accountability survey, essentially designed to affirm their existing bias, with questions like, and this is real, do you believe that the media has been far too quick to spread false stories about our movement? Jesus, that's a loaded question. That's the presidential equivalent of a third grader asking, does your mom know you're gay? The only way it could be more leading is if the multiple choice answers were yes, probably, or I don't know, sure, why not? And also, far too quick to spread false stories? Not are they spreading false stories, but are they doing so at an ungentlemanly pace? In the face of all that, what's a journalist to do? Do better. Of course, that's not always easy. The news industry is like the music industry. There are independent labels beholden to fans and real music, and then there's Iggy Azalea. Why? Capitalism. It's how you get Democracy Now! On the one hand and Time Warner owns CNN on the other, which did good for Daddy last year by earning $100 million more in ad revenue thanks to its coverage of empty podiums. But having corporate masters doesn't always preclude real journalism. And the press is the Achilles heel of this administration. After all, it was the press that exposed the Trump Foundation as not a real foundation and got it to shut down. It was the press that exposed how our president is a confessed sexual assailant. And it's thanks to the press's takedown of former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn that we're all left wondering whether the Trump administration has as many Russian spies as the entire Bond franchise. Think of journalists like X-Men. They have many powers, which can either be used for good or not so good. And we've seen that throughout American history. Good in 1954, when Senator Joseph McCarthy went on a witch hunt to root out so-called communists he said were infiltrating the government. At first, the press reported on the aimless hearings, and then they began to poke holes in his scare tactics. But it was CBS anchor Edward R. Murrow's 25-minute takedown of the senator that ultimately undid his credibility.
We must not confuse dissent with disloyalty. We must remember always that accusation is not proof, and that conviction depends upon evidence and due process of law. Good night, and good luck.
Ooh, let me see you do that, Don Lemon. Another good use of journalistic power? In 1974, when Republican President Richard Nixon was forced to resign after months of reporting and government investigations that linked him to a break-in at the DNC headquarters. Woodward and Bernstein's investigative work won them a Pulitzer, and for a brief moment, it was cool to be a journalist. And then Rush Limbaugh thought so too. What about the bad? Take the lead up to the invasion of Iraq in 2003. Mainstream reporting was ubiquitously one-sided. There were virtually no dissenting voices other than Jon Stewart and, oh yeah, the streets of every major city in the world. But network news regularly invited a cast of pro-war pundits on their shows, who also happened to be military contractors and weapons lobbyists. Admitting the media's role in pushing for the war, the New York Times actually issued an apology, saying that when it came to U.S. intelligence on weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, they, quote, fell for misinformation. Apology almost accepted, but only if you make the crossword just a little easier. I mean, an 8-letter word for beyond the mound? What does that even mean? And then there was the 2016 presidential election, in which you could say mainstream news dropped the ball and then kept kicking it into the outfield. Oh, outfield! 8-letter word for beyond the mound, yes. And now they're finally trying to pick that ball back up. CNN is investing more money in investigative journalism, the cable show Morning Joe has blacklisted Kellyanne Conway, and NPR has been shaken so badly it's finally using vocal inflection. Good evening, I am Lakshmi Singh. Trump may just be bringing back a renaissance in journalism, and not just truthful journalism, but better journalism. Because the real reason he hates reporters is because he's scared of them. He knows that when you control the media, you control power. And while he can strong-arm the three branches of government, there will always be that thorn in his ass called a free press. And that hurts. But we are far from being out of the woods. And if we're going to weather this war on reality, we can't just have reporting as usual. I know you want the ratings. I know you want the clicks. You've got to sell information to the people and the people to the advertisers. Sure, we get that. But there comes a time in every journalist's life when he or she must ask themselves, did I shell out way too much money on journalism school just to roll this turd of a presidency in glitter? But this here is to let you know that we the people are watching. We see you, Jakey boy. Nice job nabbing Kellyanne. Keep it up. We see you, Peter Alexander of NBC. We like your style, calling out Trump's blatant lie. CNN, stop with the quarter screen reactions 24/7. If you don't have anything new to report, throw up some color bars, run a nature program, do something. Bill O'Reilly, you are a complete and utter tool. Bill Maher, you are also a complete and utter tool. Bill Nye, you're cool. From now on, you're going to have to be harder, better, faster, stronger. Because America is counting on you not to make the same mistakes when Kanye runs in 2020. So good luck, but no good night. Because Americans are losing sleep over this presidency, and you're going to have to join us. And subscribe to Newsbroke, you hear? We need to... Come on.